Hey, what's up guys? We're gonna work on some floor stretching for the shoulders. So some of these you've seen before, and we're gonna try to combine some of the things that that we now know our shoulders need in order to work well. So we're gonna work on thoracic rotation and some scapular movement, as well as warming up the shoulders themselves. These also work really well as cool down exercises. Again, it just kind of depends on how you do it. If you do a dynamic stretch where you're moving into a stretch position and then out, and you go back and forth through that several times, that's more of a dynamic stretch, and that's a movement thing, and then you're preparing your body for movement. So that works well into your warm-up. If you hold the stretch position for a while and you hang out there for 5 or 10 breaths, that's a great way to cool things down when you're nice and warm and the muscles might get a little bit of a chance to elongate. Maybe be in that stretch position for a little bit longer. So I'm going to show you both directions, dynamic to static, and you can kind of pick and choose how you're going to work them into your training. If you start on your hands and knees like this, we're going to go into that thread the needle stretch that you've done before. So I'm going to take my left arm out to the side and thread the needle through this hole right here between my right thigh and my right arm. I'm going to thread through like this. I'm going to use my right hand that's on the floor and push down. So I'm going to show you on this side too. As I reach this arm that's going to get stretched through, what I'm trying to do is get my fingers to reach as far as I can comfortably. This right shoulder will come down toward the floor. I may even walk my right fingers out a little bit more, and then take this left hand and push it into the ground. My head can just relax on the ground, or I can kind of have it up and hold on and look at that hand. That kind of depends on what feels good for your neck, but you're going to be pushing into the ground with that palm. With my left hand right now, with this forearm that's up, I'm pushing down into the ground to add thoracic rotation to my stretch for my shoulder. Now, if we thread the needle through this way, we get a nice big stretch of the back side of that shoulder. What we're wanting, again, also though, is to work on the front side of the shoulder. So we're going to unthread it and go the other way. So I'm going to go back to my left arm so you can see better what I'm doing, but I'm going to stretch out this way and bring my left shoulder toward the floor to stretch the front side of the shoulder and stretch thoracic rotation in the other direction. So we stretch out this way, and that left shoulder goes toward the floor. Again, I'm using my right palm to press into the ground so I can add thoracic rotation, stretch this way, and a nice big opening to the front side of that shoulder. This one feels really good after push-ups, but please be careful, don't overstretch your shoulder. If you put your shoulder in this position and you don't add the thoracic rotation, it's just a ton of extra stretching here in the front side of the shoulder capsule, which might be a little bit too much. So again, always let pain be your guide. It should not hurt, it should feel good. You can stretch into this dynamically, find the stretch, come out of it, find the stretch, come out of it. So you go through that 5 or 10 cycles, and then you can hang out of that stretch position and just breathe. And kind of pick and choose again, depending on where in your workout you're doing this. So the other one that we can do on the floor that's pretty easy, again, comes from the baseball world. It's called the sleeper stretch, and it's to help stretch the back side of the shoulder. So I'm going to stretch my right shoulder. So I'm going to lie on my right side. My right arm is stretched out in front of me, and I'm going to bend that elbow 90 degrees. Then I'm going to take my other hand and press my right hand toward my belly button. Only as far as I need to feel a bit of a stretch. And again, this one pretty simple to kind of milk through that range of motion. You find kind of the end range, move in and out of the stretch position, and then when it feels good, you hang out there. This stretch helps improve internal rotation. I am stabilizing my scapula by lying down on it. Of course, my thoracic spine isn't moving a whole lot, so we get to isolate the stretch to the rotator cuff and the back side of the shoulder capsule. If there is any ongoing and shoulder impingement issues, this may not feel good. Again, the shoulder should feel like it's getting a nice comfortable stretch with these exercises. It should not hurt. It should feel, once you're done, like mine do right now, like it's kind of ready for action. So try a couple of stretches out on the floor to get your shoulders ready for your training. Have fun.